there is some debate over whether Bloody Mary is actually a real person or if she isn't. Many people have believed that it has been the figure of Queen Mary the First, because she burned hundreds of thousands of Protestants in her reign. Born on February 18, 1516 in Greenwich Palace in London, England, to Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, Mary seemed an unlikely candidate to be queen, left alone a bloody one. Her father deeply desired a male heir and spent Mary's childhood doing whatever it took to get one. Mary's early years were eagerly defined by Henry's determination to have a son. When she was a teenager, the king scandalized Europe by declaring his marriage to Mary's mother illegal and incestuous. Because she had been briefly married to his brother and his intention to marry Anne Boleyn, he divorced Catherine, married Anne, and tore England away from the Catholic Church, establishing the Church of England instead. Over the years, Mary watched as her father married again and again. After executing Anne Boleyn, he married Jane Seymour, who died in childbirth. Henry's fourth marriage to Anne of Cleves was short-lived and ended in divorce. He extended his fifth wife, Catherine Howard, on trumped-up charge. Only Henry's sixth wife, Catherine Parr, outlived him, but Henry had gotten what he wanted. Jane Seymour had a son, Edward VI. When Edward VI died just 6 years into his reign, he tried to ensure that power passed to his Protestant cousin, Lady Jane Grey. But Mary seized her opportunity and led an army into London in 1553. A groundswell of support put her on the throne and Lady Jane Grey on the execution's block. As queen, however, Mary I developed her as a Bloody Mary reputation. As queen, one of Mary's most urgent priorities was returning England to the Catholic Church. She married Philip II of Spain, quashed a Protestant rebellion, and reversed many of her father and half-brother's anti-Catholic policies. In 1555, she went one step further by reviewing a law called Heretico Comburendo, which punished heretics by burning them at the stake. According to the Smithsonian, Mary hoped the execution would be short, sharp, and short, and that they would encourage Protestants to return to the Catholic Church. She thought just a couple of executions would do the trick, telling her advisors that the executions should be so used that the people might well perceive them not to be condemned without justification, whereby they shall both understand the truth and beware to do the like. Protestants were undeterred, and for 3 years, from 1555 until Mary's death in 1550, almost 300 of them were burned alive at her command. They were prominent religious figures like Thomas Cranmer, the Archbishop of Canterbury, and Bishop Hugh Latimer and Nicholas Ridley, as well as scores of normal citizens, most of them poor. As history notes, the Protestants' deaths were meticulously recorded by Protestant John Fox. He described the deaths of Protestant martyrs throughout history, complete with illustrations. Mary's scourge of Protestants left a lasting legacy. After her death, it earned her the nickname Bloody Mary, but that's not the only reason why some believe Queen Mary I is linked to this urban legend. Alleged sightings of the Bloody Mary suggest that she's holding a baby or is looking for a baby. Summoners can taunt Bloody Mary by saying, "I have a baby," or "I killed your baby," and that would suggest why that refrain gets under Bloody Mary's skin. Alongside burning Protestants, Mary had another priority: getting pregnant. 37 years old when she took power, Mary was determined to produce an heir, but things took a strange twist, though she announced that she was pregnant just 2 months after marrying Philip, and by all convenienceable measurements appeared to be pregnant. Mary's due date came and went without a baby. When Mary died in 1558 at the age of 42, possibly from uterine or ovarian cancer, she died childless. Her Protestant half-sister Elizabeth took power, cementing Protestants' place in England. Meanwhile, Mary's enemies made sure that the former queen became known as Bloody Mary, though the Smithsonian notes that her father had ordered the deaths of as many 57,000 to 72,000 of his subjects, and her sister would go on to hang, draw, and quarter 183 Catholics as traitors. Mary was the one deemed bloody. Her reputation could have come from sexism or simply the fact that she was a Catholic queen in an increasingly Protestant nation. Either way, Bloody Mary's nickname is tied to Mary, to the urban legend, but there was a couple other women who could be described as Bloody Mary instead. Whether that is true, the other inspirations for Bloody Mary are the details about Mary Worth are hazy, including whether or not she existed at all. Haunted rooms described her as a witch who put children under her spell, kidnapped them, and murdered them, then used their blood to stay youthful. They write when the townspeople found out, they tied her to a stake and burned her alive. Mary Worth allegedly screamed that if they dared say her name in the mirror, she would haunt them. Mary Worth also tortured and killed escaped slaves as part of her witchery rituals. Eventually, the townspeople found out and killed, either by burning her at a stake or lynching her. But while Mary Worth's existence seems debatable, Elizabeth Bathory was very real. A Hungarian noblewoman, she charged with killing 80 young girls between 1590 to 1610. Rumors spread that she subject them to sickening torture, sewing their lips shut, beating them with clubs, and burning them with hot irons. Allegedly, she even bathed in their blood to keep a youthful appearance. What's more, one witness claimed during Bathory's trial that they'd seen a diary in which Bathory recorded her victims. There were not 80 names there, but 650. For that reason, Bathory seems like a fair candidate to be Bloody Mary. In any case, the truth identity of Bloody Mary is murky. The myth could be based on Queen Mary the First, Bloody Mary, whether it be based on Mary Worth, Elizabeth Bathory, or Queen Mary the First. One thing is for certain, the legend Bloody Mary is a frightening tale, one you do not want to come upon. Thank you for joining me for this Halloween edition of the Supernatural Files. You made it this far, hit the red subscribe button down below. Thumbs up, click the notification bell to always on, and leave a comment down below. In the next one, I'll be off in the supernatural world. See ya!